Hi everyone. So today I have our mentee Pragya with us. Pragya is a student from ILS Pune and she has recently secured a campus placement with a tier 1 firm. Pragya was part of YLCC's interview growth camp. So let's hear from Pragya. What does it take for a non-NLU student to reach that level of a tier 1 placement? A lot of non-NLU students have this doubt that whether or not they can also achieve it. Can tier 1 firms only be secured by people who have good contacts or people who are studying at NLUs? So I'm pretty sure Pragya will be able to address all these queries today, our audience.
Hello everyone. As you have already introduced me, I'm Pragya and I'm from ILS Law College, which definitely is a non-NLU. Firstly, I want to thank Sammanika and the entire YLCC team for giving me this opportunity to be able to speak here and share my experience with all of you. So thanks a lot for that. And moving ahead with it, so definitely, so first thing I would like to say to all the people who would be watching me is that I think the college you are from after a point of time is something which it doesn't matter. It is not something which is very important. And if you keep a pace from the very beginning of your law school, there are certain drawbacks. I know that in non-NLUs and the colleges which are not in very big cities, there is a disadvantage with the students that they do not have the corporate exposure per se. But then if you start preparing for it and if you keep this thing in your mind that yes, I am a non-NLU student and I'll have to put a little bit more efforts, then by the time you reach your third, fourth year, it becomes very easy. You come at par, and then I don't think there is a kind of discrimination that you're going to face while moving ahead. So that is something we should keep in mind. So anyone who is a non-NLU student, just don't keep this thing in your mind that I'm a non-NLU student and I won't be able to crack it. It's very much possible. We have lots of examples of people from non-NLUs getting placed. So I think it would be pretty easy for you also if you keep the pace from the very beginning of the law school. And that's how I strategized my law school, and it definitely helped me a lot. So, yeah.
So Pragya, when you say you strategize from the very beginning, what all things were you doing starting from your first year till you got secured? If you could share with the audience, and most importantly, how valuable was your CV, and what were the key things you were keeping in mind while drafting your CV, which helped you in securing this opportunity?
Okay, so starting from the beginning, so from ILS, so in the beginning years, we do not have law subjects. So that was something which was kind of a loophole and which was kind of a problem. So even though I didn't have law subjects, I started focusing on the basics. So more than focusing on the internships, in the first 2 years, I started to focus on basics. And definitely big corporate firms are not willing to hire you in the beginning years. So I actually tried other platforms also. So I started brushing up my writing skills. I tried to do moods and I tried to do other things which forms a part of a law school curriculum. And then that's how I started. And then along with that, and I think those are the things like doing a mood and like preparing in all the other co-curricular activities is something which helped me in getting my CV shortlisted in small firms in the beginning. So I believe that is very important. And I also believe one thing, that by the time you reach your fourth year or third year, you are very sure about the fact that where you want to go. So by then you do not have too much enthusiasm left in you to do everything. So in the beginning years, do everything. And I'm pretty sure whatever you do in a law school, it doesn't go in waste, be it some extracurricular thing or be it something related to academics. It will definitely help you somewhere. It will definitely help you somewhere, because I was a part of theatrics also, and that definitely helped me in getting my CV shortlisted, and that definitely helped me in answering my interview questions. So I think it will definitely help you. So start doing with your basics, start focus a little bit and do all the things that you want to do, especially in the 2 years. Is going to help you. And then from the third year itself, I started to focus more on the corporate side, and I started looking out for commercial internships. So I started basically with the commercial litigation internships, which helped me gain a little bit insight. And then my first big internship break was with Juriscorp, I believe. And then that is for that I got shortlisted because of my moot, which I did. It was a commercial law moot, and that really helped me a lot. And the question was asked on that, and I guess that helped me in getting shortlisted for that internship. And from there I started to build up my CV, and that was a break-in moment for me. So when I talk about my CV, to a CV, I basically kept it very crisp from the very beginning. So starting in the starting period, in the first 2 years, you don't know how to create a CV and you don't know what to put in your CV. And sometimes it's very open-ended. So those mistakes are made by every law student. I also made those mistakes. But then definitely with people, with knowing people, with experience and from seniors, you get to know a lot of things. And eventually you do build up on it. Eventually you do learn how to create your CV. So one most important thing which I want to share with all of you is that always get your CV reviewed by your seniors or by mentors if you have, because that is very important, because that will make you think more upon it and that will make you help you make it more crisp and much better. And then other than that, only keep those things which you're very sure with. So I remember earlier I used to keep everything in my CV that I did. But that was a very big mistake that I made. And because of that, I also faced certain consequences. So after that, I learned to keep only those things which you are very sure with, which you know deeply about. So that if you're asked a question about it, you are able to answer. Because your CV is something on which everyone is going to ask you multiple questions. They can go how much ever deep they want. So do that. And other than that, how to focus upon CV, what to do and what not to do is also a very big question, big problem which every law student face. That what is the right thing to do? Should I go into writing? Should I do moods? Should I do all the other competitions? Or should I only focus on internships? So many people have different approaches for that. But I was someone who focused on everything a little bit, and my CV was a mix of everything. So I didn't do too much writing, but there were few writings in that. I didn't do too many moods, but there were few moods which showed that I have a little bit of experience in it. And then internships definitely was my main focus. So that was there. And I think it has a positive side to it. When your CV is a mix of everything, it has a positive side because recruiter or anyone, they feel that you are willing to work and you're willing to learn new things and you have an enthusiasm in you. So I guess that was a positive side to my CV. And that's how I plan to structure my CV from the very beginning.
Clinics or district court might have actually equally helped, because even when you do not know much about the core practical side of law, there are a lot of things you learn just by observations. Like I remember in my first year, we used to go to district court and someday go to the family court, someday like all different courts. We used to just stand there, not even understand what is happening, but just like try to understand how things are functioning. And I think that observation part also plays a very important role in your growth. Now, Pragya, you have had a very good balance of research papers and moot courts and everything. And you did say that your extracurricular of theater and other things might have helped you in securing your first internship. Now, for somebody who has done these things but does not know how to project them properly in their CV or cover letter, because the audience might not be able to understand where to fit it in. And that is what I have understood, like after reviewing at least like 500 to 700 CVs in past 1 or 2 years. One thing I've understood is the only reason why a lot of people feel that their CV is not good enough is because they don't know what they've done, where they can put it in, and how they can project it better, so that the recruiter knows that okay, like this person might not have just done just focused on academics but have also done other things. So how did you project that part? How did you convey it to the recruiter properly that okay, I might not have done core legal internships, but this is what I was doing it, and therefore I am also equally good enough?
Okay, so yeah, so when I talk about this thing, definitely this was a problem which I also faced. That because in the first 2 years I did not do much with respect to legal internships, but all I was doing was extracurricular things. So how to project it? And I think while projecting it, it's very important to understand that maybe you did win an award in singing or in dancing or something like that. But unless and until you are able to convince the recruiter that by this award, by this quality of mine, I'm able to bring something to you, they won't be able to convince, they won't be willing to take you in. So that was something which was a problem. So to project these things was something which was a question in my mind. And the basic line of thought which I followed through it was that whatever activities that you are doing, it comprises of it needs a lot of skills. So you learn a skill set. For example, when I was doing theater, I learned things like teamwork. I learned things like working for long hours. And these are something which are very much important in your corporate job. So you can project it in that way. So definitely you cannot write it in your CV, but you can use the same while you're writing your cover letter. And in my cover letter, I always used to write this one paragraph about my extracurriculars. And from there, I used to derive things like that. This has helped me in working better in a team. This has helped me in being more consistent and working for long hours, and has made me more hardworking, has made me more perceptive of things. And definitely that's how you can project these things. Because in the beginning, for a third year student, they're not looking for someone who is someone who is very well versed with law. They're looking for someone who has that zeal and who has that, who can assimilate it in the team, who can learn the values in a better manner and would be there to contribute for longer. So these are something they're looking for in an intern or even for a fresher recruit. So you can project these things in this way, and because that's the strategy that I followed, I used to do it I used to write it in my cover letters, and then at the time of my interviews, maybe it's an internship interview or it's for the firm, what I did was I used to bring these things in my introduction while I was introducing myself, and from there I used to derive the values that I have learned over a period of time and how I can use these to assimilate with the values of the firm I'm going to be working with. And I'm pretty sure that has helped me a lot in securing my job, because answers like that are very personal answers, and that really make an impact, and that reflects your personality along with your academic or along with how good you are with your work. So that's how I used to project these things in my CV. And definitely one more thing that I want to add is that see the place you're applying at. That is also very important by structuring your CV. I used to structure my CV for every single place I used to apply at, because for the team that I'm applying for and the people I know who are going to see my CV. So I used to do all the due diligence work, and then I used to apply for it, and then accordingly I used to mention things. So to show a consistency in my CV, so to make them believe that whatever I've been applying for is something which I've been doing and is something I'm very confident with and I am aspiring towards. So that really helped me a lot with the CV part. So that's how I used to project my CV, making it very, very much amenable to the firm or to the place you're applying at. That definitely helps every time.
Okay, superb. Two very interesting takeaways, very important takeaways actually. First, maintaining your individuality, and second, keeping the other person's interest in mind while drafting your application. So the good thing I liked about how you explained your cover letter part was that you weren't just following a particular template. You were creating your own template, explaining them why you, like, Pragya is the right fit for them and not Pragya from ILS or Pragya from non-NLU or Pragya from XYZ college or Pragya XYZ rank holder. You maintained your own individuality. You gave them a reason as to why you were the right person for them to hire. And that's a very beautiful thing, because most of the students these days, what I feel is the one place where the robotic template. And that's why they feel that, okay, because XYZ got an opportunity by doing this or writing this, maybe I should also write that or say that or do that. And that is exactly where they lose the actual flavor of their identity. So that was amazing, Pragya. Now, apart from Juriscorp, what were the other internships you were doing? Were you always sure from day one when you started your corporate journey from your third year